This piece is a work in progress, so she doesn't have a title yet. My name's Kat Thompson, and I'm a working visual artist here in the DMV. When I was reading Flash of the Spirit by Robert Thompson, he kind of referenced quilts as these banners of chaos in a way. It's how my practice is and how my studio is like controlled chaos. So whenever I see these, I like think of that. My mom inspires all my pieces, directly, indirectly. For the textile pieces, mainly the technique of sewing, since it stopped at her. She was telling me the stories of her upbringing in Jamaica. When she came here, decided to assimilate and leave those, matronly traits behind. So the act of me teaching myself this laborious task of sewing is another way to kind of reference my mom. This piece is the technique of strip patterning in quilting, and even though it's 100% a quilt or a tapestry, I take that technique and I mesh with other patterns to then create this large narrative of Caribbean, tropics, southern quilting, etc. But then I add little signifiers, like for example here, pinch bread is very significant to me because in my family we eat that on the daily. So it's another way for me to then almost have this be a little signifier for other Jamaicans when they see pieces like this. I decided to take on the task of doing some research on some state quilt blocks. Each state has their own pattern block, and I was shocked too when I was doing my research. Virginia is a star, but also Texas is a star too, obviously. Teaching myself these were very laborious because it was my first time taking on the task of sitting down and actually taking the time to cut out squares and sewing them together, piecing them together, etc. to create like these pieces like this. But also reference the Caribbean in the sense that there's, a lot of greenery, but also a magnitude of different colors. This print is called the Jamaican bandana print. So this is also another textile that is very dominant in my work. The reason why I also choose these patterns and prints is because I think it just goes down to like color theory and pattern theory. I really don't have any specifics. It's very intuitive. My eye, whenever I look at patterns and colors, it just tells me. And most of the time I look at the fabric and it tells me how it wants to be, positioned, what it wants to be paired with. And the reason why majority of these that I have are Virginian is because I wanted to kind of reference the slavery, specifically Underground Railroad, and how quilts, they have these hidden messages. And the star is one of the significant patterns among others that were utilized. In a way, this is me calling my ancestors back to me in Virginia. My name's Kat Thompson, and thank you for taking the time to hear me speak about my work.